Fires right up. Oh, started and died right there. Okay, starts and dies. Alrighty guys, here it is right here. The Durango of a 2016 model. Sometime it will not crank. Alright guys, I see parts in here. Y'all recognize this part? When you see parts in a car, that means somebody has... This is a crank sensor, guys. Now I'm starting to wonder about the complaint, because they say sometimes it will not crank. This has no bearing on cranking. Remember, your battery and your starter has the most probable cause when it comes to cranking. Right? This has a bearing on starting. All right, this does not even come into play until the engine is actually cranking over. All right, so once the engine is cranking over and the computer sees RPM, which is read from this crank sensor. Remember, guys, this stabs into the flex plate if it's an automotive, or flywheel if it's a manual. But this stabs into the... It's looking for a crank speed rotation. All right, y'all know the drill, right? When you push start, if it's a push to start like this one is, if you go to start a car and you hit start, yes, you need this to tell the computer that's RPM. All right, let's fire it up. Let's go. And you want this done as quickly as possible. So, but the complaint on the RO says no freaking crank. So I'm guessing somebody got something wrong, or somebody don't know what part they replaced. Let's find out. What do you know? Fire right up. Now, y'all know my drill. I'm not interested in replacing parts. None of that. Okay, I have to duplicate it. Now, we do have a check engine light on, as you can see. Let's try this again. Fires right up. Oh, started and died right there. Let me see. Okay, starts and dies. Now, a crank sensor can play a role in that. Now, with this check engine light, I'm glad the check engine light on, because remember, guys, the fault code, the trouble code, the check engine light is designed to put you in the right area. All right, where's my repair? Or let's take a look at the code and see what happened. Well, what do you know? Looking at these trouble codes, y'all see that? PCM, a P0335. Oh, active, guys, crankshaft position sensor circuit. Alrighty, now we're on to something now. So the check engine light on is actually on for crank sensor problems, not cranks. Not that code does not mean you need a crank sensor. That means your problematic area is in the crank sensor area. So now it makes sense why they replaced it. So one of two things: maybe they put on some junk, maybe they put on a Dermon crank sensor. Wait a minute, not a Dermon crank sensor. Yeah, it's possibly they put on a Dermon crank sensor, or there's a real problem. There's some wiring problems in the system. But my job here is to find out why. So I'm in the shop now. What I'm about to do, I'm gonna let this thing up in the air. Just do some visual, guys. Let's take a look at something. Alrighty, guys. Sit it there. Got this thing in the air. All right. Let's take a look. Oh yes, all-wheel drive. Oh my goodness, what a lot of stuff going on here. Axles going to the front to make the front wheel drive, and the drive shaft going to the rear, which makes it rear wheel drive. If all four wheels are turning, ladies and gentlemen, it is now all-wheel drive. Crank sensor. Where the crank sensor live? Remember what the crank sensor do. Remember what I say, guys, in order to find out where a sensor live, just understand what it do. Y'all see all that oil? Anybody want to take a wild guess where that's coming from? It lives up here, guys. Now, what I want to know, is it a rinky-dinky ass Dermon? Let me take y'all dumpster dive and see if y'all can see it. What y'all see? It's in a tight little spot, ain't it? Alright, so I have to go with Mopar, guys. I don't care what that is. I don't know what that is. Yes, I have to be assured that that's a quality sensor. But what I'm going to do first, I'm going to let this thing down and we're going to hook the scan tool up. We're going to take a look at some data before I fool with that. But I still want a Mopar sensor in it, guys. Alright, let's let this thing back down and take care of something right quick. Alright, guys, so I got the car back down. I'm running. It's running right now. Here's something what's weird going on, guys. Remember the check engine light on, and sometimes you say it won't start. Okay, remember we had to distinguish whether she have cranking problems or starting problems. Now take a look at this, guys. Y'all see this? I'm on the DTCs of the PCM, right? Y'all see this code? Here's the code that I'm concerned with, the one that's actually active. Now, how on earth can a crank position sensor code be active and I'm running? I'm literally running right now. Okay, something is wrong. It could be a glitch in the computer. In fact, y'all know what these glitches can occur out of nowhere, guys. You could need a flash update 100,000 miles later over some glitch that just popped up in the PCM. How does that happen? I'm not an electrical guru. I have no idea. I just know what I have done to fix cars over the years. All right, what I want to do, because this is bothering me, again, active. If I'm not receiving information from the crankshaft, how am I running? So what I want to do, I want to go to data. I want to look at RPM and see what is RPM displaying. Map, we don't want map. Engine speed, y'all see that? I'm getting engine speed. That engine speed signal used to be called RPM, comes from the crank sensor. So how is the crank sensor active if this was 0, guys? I would not know engine speed. If that was 0, I would not be running, because the computer have no way of knowing where's number 1 cylinder, where's top dead center, so you won't run. So obviously, now when I speak about glitch, first thing I'm gonna do, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take my spare, a different part not gonna change a glitch. Let me go take a look at something. Let me back out of here. All right, guys, y'all see that PCM box right there? Y'all see that lightning bolt above that PCM box? That signals that this PCM have a flash update, guys. Periodically, from time to time, manufacturers will issue changes, okay, software upgrades, software changes to program. Now what I want to do is see if there is any particular software glitch change that's required of this car to address that code. In fact, let me go here. Now I want to go to flash and see if it'll show me there. Okay, so there's 4 TSBs associated with this vehicle. Let's pick this one. Now we're gonna see, here are the 4. What I want to see is let's look at this update. Here's the update for, just happened to be the year we're working on. Okay, oh, look at these codes down here. Now let's stroll up and see, do we see that crank sensor code? What was it? P0335 or something like that? Oh, look at that. P0335. The following DTCs have been changed from a 1-trip fault to a 2-trip fault. What's going on, guys? Here's what you need to be concerned with. Symptoms and conditions of this TSB. Customer may experience a check engine light illumination. Upon further investigation, the technician may find one or more of the following fault codes have been set. These and or these. So if you got any of these codes, this flash will address that. Now, what I need to do is update this computer. Now, if I update this computer and go back and that code is not active, because again, guys, think about it for a second. You should not be running if you have no signal from the crank sensor. I have a signal from a crank sensor, but I got an active crank sensor code, P0335. So this flash update will address that. All right, here's what I'm gonna do on my own. All right, I haven't even gotten approval for this yet. Let's do this. Sometimes, guys, mechanics, I know you understand this. Sometimes you have to fix cars in order to find out if this is going to fix a car. Did that make sense? That made absolutely no sense. Only the true hardcore mechanics know what I'm saying, understand what I'm saying. All right, in order to avoid getting burnt or embarrassed or your image being tarnished, sometimes you have to literally make a repair, fix a car, in order to see if that will fix the car. All right, y'all marinate on that for a minute. And while y'all do that, I'm gonna flash this PCM, run flash. I'm gonna flash this PCM and then see if that active code go away. Now, as you can see, flash process successfully. All right, guys, so what we're gonna do now is we're going to check and see if this code still active. You can see the lightning bolt gone from the PCM, which means I flashed it up to date. In fact, let's go to all DTCs, not all of them. I'm really PCM, so the code is still there. Hey, it's stored. Now let's start the car up. Imagine that. It's still stored. Hey, now here's what I'm gonna do, guys. All right, because remember I had to flash this thing to see if it'll change anything. This code is stored. I'm guessing if I erase these codes, in fact, ain't no sense of guessing. Let's do it. Clear. Remember that cam sensor code was active, guys, so clearing DTCs, no DTCs. Now, let's start it back up. Looky, freaking looky. Yes, guys, sometimes you can flash your way out of a glitchy situation. No freaking codes in the PCM. Where's my topology? Yeah. So the lightning bolt gone. There's a lightning bolt down here, but I could care less about the BCM or this. Now, I don't know what's going on over here. I don't want to venture into that. They're not complaining about that. I'm only interested in why the check engine light on. As you can see, it's not on anymore. You know what that means? Freaking don't get me started on Dermon again. That cousin Pookie ass mechanic. Okay. No, guys. A lot of it has to do with what you know and what you have access to. Okay. I might have an advantage because of myself, I guess. All right. The position that I am. So I might have an added advantage. Which begs the question: if consumers know of the added advantages that certain technicians have where they employed at, why don't consumers take their car to them? Y'all understand what I'm saying? And guys, don't get it twisted. I have nothing against my fellow mechanic. All right, nothing. All right, you may hear me clown around by cousin Pookie mechanic, Dermon shop, this, that, and the third, but I have nothing against those guys. It's just that I know if I was a consumer, I would want to take my car somewhere where they have the best equipment, the best knowledge. Knowledge plays a major role in this, guys. All right, and best access to, the manufacturer that made your car. This is a freaking Dodge Durango. Now, why on earth should it be in Firestone or Pep Boys or places like that? This is way too much complex computerization stuff going on for this car to be in. Again, I don't want to sound like I don't want to sound biased, but I have nothing against independent shops. Some of my buddies on YouTube run shops. All right, Papa Hobby, they all run shops. I ain't got nothing bad against them guys, but when it comes to this new computerized stuff, you're gonna be in best hands with me. Why? All right, somebody, a facility. All right, because we gotta warranty this stuff. All right, now I want y'all to understand what I just did. Get a load of this. All right, and I'm gonna wrap this up. I just basically fixed this car. I haven't gotten paid a thing. I haven't even wrote up an estimate. I partially explained this earlier, but let me go through it again, guys. Mechanics, sometimes you got to bite the bullet. Sometimes you got to lay your ego aside. You have to be, consumers are expecting us to be 100% sure that our estimate will fix their car. All right. One of the ways to get to that 100% is to actually fix the car. That sounds crazy, don't it? Yes, you need parts, you need to get paid, you need this, you need that. But guys, sometimes you got to bite the bullet. Now, get this. I can, with confidence, write up my estimate knowing 100% that it's going to fix it. Number one, because it's already fixed. Okay, now what do I lose by doing this? Remember, guys, I'm allocated 1 hour anyway. Did it really take me an hour to do? I just fixed this car. Did it really take me an hour to fix this car? No. So I can write up my estimate, all right, and include whatever I want to include. I'm in a position right now where I can do wrong stuff, but I'm not that type of guy. Okay, now the customer brought it here for a reason. They don't plan on leaving until the car is fixed. Now I'm gonna make sure it's fixed, but I need to make sure the estimate is adequate for my time, skills, and know-how. I need to make sure I get paid, in other words. No matter how easy I made it look on video. All right, I spent years, prepping. I spent years advancing my knowledge to the point where I can fix a car in the shortest amount of time. That deserves payment for. All right, I deserve to get paid for that. So I just don't want y'all to. All right, yeah, it's crazy, guys. All right, that's all I have, man. Let me write up this estimate, and I don't want y'all to know what the estimate gonna include, because some of y'all way too sensitive for what I'm about to write up. And y'all know who you are. Only mechanics understand what I'm about to do right now. It's nothing illegal, by the way. It's nothing unethical, by the way. It's something that I'm going to make sure I get compensated for my knowledge. How's that? I got to go.